What's up, everybody? We are here. We are doing a special lyric talk today, and we getting it in because this is what we do at Lyric Talk. We get it in with the lyrics, we discuss, and we have conversation, break down the lyrics. And if you don't know, now you know. So thank you for joining us. Those that might watch today, we're gonna stream live today, so I'm looking forward to those that might have something to say. We're gonna actually review the Adele album today and just have fun. You know what I mean? And today, my guest is. Oh, really? We're not saying.
I thought you were going to introduce me.
No, I want you to introduce yourself.
Gosh, just threw that all up. No, I'm kidding. I'm Ricky Jones. For those who don't know me, celebrity in the making. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, celebrity in the making. Okay, what does it take to make a celebrity? People want to know.
What does it take to make us? That's a great question. I think it takes me.
So basically, a spoonful of arrogance makes a celebrity go down.
Obviously, every
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. A spoonful of arrogance makes. Okay, let me hush. All right, but we are going to get into lyric talk today. Again, we are discussing the Adele album, and we're just gonna dive in. Should we just start from the beginning? I
What's
think
the
you should.
first song? Let me
The
pull it.
first song is "Strangers by Nature."
Not one of my favorites.
Really? Okay, let's start with that one.
It's not. Hold on. I'm trying to pull it up so I can remember. I definitely did my homework, but I gotta remember what it sounds like.
Okay, let me make sure this sound is up for everybody to hear. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
This is definitely the intro song.
Yeah, this is the first song. All right, here we go. And those that are watching, we'll play like 30 seconds of it. Then we'll have to stop because copyright infringement, stuff like that. Yeah, so here we go.
I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart for all of my lovers in the present and in the dark. Every anniversary, I'll pay respects and say I'm sorry for.
So, like,
Definitely brings you in to say this is what this album is about to be.
definitely. For those that don't know, Adele wrote this album. Was it before her divorce or after divorce? Ricky, you might have more. Huh? During.
It was during because well, it might have been after because I believe she got divorced 27, 28. They've been divorced for a couple of years, I believe.
Okay, so it was after because she just released this last year. So maybe she wrote it.
I don't think we would never know that answer. I mean, unless she blatantly says. But my guess is I'm gonna say during and after, because there's some songs where you can definitely see or hear that there is some remnants still in effect. That's what I'll say.
But let's talk about these lyrics though. In this first verse, and
Mhm.
like I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart for all my lovers in the present and in the dark. Every anniversary, I pay respects and say I'm sorry, for they never stood a chance as if they could when no one knows what it's like to be us. I think that is profound in a sense. I say profound because no one knows what it's going to be like to be in a relationship with that individual. You can guess, you can hope for the best, but it's not always um, it's not always the truth of what you think it is, you know? And no one ever plans on getting a divorce. No one.
Very true. Very true. I like. I will say, like, I like the. I'll be taking flowers to the cemetery of my heart. I think that's very visioned.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right grammatical way to say that. I think it's a true visionary statement. I'll say it like that. And so
Sure.
understand that, yes, she's hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she feels. I think she uses this word a lot throughout the album, which is cold.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a stillfulness to her, of saying, now I'm just here. I'm surviving, and I think with this song, with this album, it is, how am I going to do that
Mm-hmm.
if I'm just a stone wall to everything, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But I think in a way she's also saying, to me, she's saying that the relationship was dead at the beginning. Like, like for to just create that imagery of like when you normally take flowers, it's because that thing is already dead. You know what I mean? To the cemetery. So I think that's yes. The writing on this entire project is yeah, I can relate. All right, so let's continue.
They never stood a chance as if they could. When no one knows what it's like to be us. I've never seen the sky this color before. It's like I'm noticing everything a little bit more.
Let me just say the production on this thing impeccable. Like the strings and the production of the whole album, the simplicity of what she does. It's not a lot of musicality to it, but it is. I guess it's not. Let me say the musicality is there, but it's the instrumentation that is not a lot of instruments, but they make it so big and obvious as to how they're setting the song up emotionally,
I would say they're setting it up like a dream,
like
because
a
it's
dream.
very 70s esque, 80s esque.
Okay.
They were very big, dreamy people. And so that's the one thing that I did like about it. It's very like, it's a fond memory.
Mm,
It's a place where I was. It's a place I can remember. It's a place that's hazy. It's
mm.
all these different words and choices that they decided to go with. So I feel like they actually put that into the chords that they were playing.
Very much so. And then the second verse, the way they have this set up, it goes right from the first verse to like the second verse in a sense. That it says, I've never seen the sky this color before. It's like I'm noticing everything a little bit more. Now that all the dust has settled, I rebut all I rebut all my rebuttals. No one knows what it's like to be us. It's I think that's cool the way she is bringing the imagery in again
Mhm.
to because we don't know, you could pick any color and your mind goes to that color. And not only that, she's painting the imagery of what it's like to be in this space with this
Right.
individual or with yourself, right? Because you're starting to, well, whether it's a divorce or just a breakup with a boyfriend girlfriend, I think you start noticing certain things about who you are and about other people as you are going through different things. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it makes it seem like that the things that were already there from the beginning, how they become magnified, but they've been there all along.
Mhm.
Hey, the
Look at
one and
that,
only.
dapper.
Listen,
So
Hey, hey,
jelly.
hey.
you
Hey,
preaching
guys.
revival? You preaching an Adele revival today?
Mm. The year of the divorce. Let me not say that. Sorry. I'm here.
There's
I'm late.
no, you good, sir. Life happens. So we're just in the first
Hi,
song.
Ricky. Okay.
Sir, I'm sorry, I looked away because there is a wasp that decided to fly by me, and I don't want to have one of those. I will run.
Do not run. Don't be scared.
Have you ever
They're
been stung?
not.
Have you
What?
ever been stung?
Nope.
I
And it
have.
hurts.
I have.
Hurt.
It
Yeah,
hurts.
it is not.
Let's pray I
No.
don't. I'm too skinny for that.
Wow.
Might be right because all this arm, it got a lot of places to fit. Okay,
Wow.
and it hurts.
Wow. So okay, so we got to get moving. I'm looking at this album and I see that there's 12 songs on this album. I don't know if we're gonna get through all of them. So let's just do this, right? Because I want to make sure we capture the gist of the album in a way that people that watch this will know, like, bet I need to go check out the album or review that song to see, how she came from the angle or whatever they take out of this conversation. So Ricky, is there a song that you will go to that you want to review to talk about? Because I know when we talk, we could legit go on a song for a minute.
I mean, I do have like go-to songs on the album. We definitely talked about one last week, which I don't think we have to peer into that one because we definitely had our conversation with My Little Love.
Yes.
That's my song. I love listening to
it.
All right, so which way? Pick the next one.
I Drink Wine. That's like my second favorite.
I Drink Wine. All right, here we go. I Drink Wine. Let's go.
Those chords alone, I fell in love with.
How can one become so bounded by choices that somebody else makes? How can we both become a version of a person we don't even like? Man, I will agree. It's the simplicity again with the chords, out the gate. Like I think she's describing just that feeling of seeing yourself in a way that you're like, wait, I don't like who I'm becoming when I'm in this space with you.
I feel that.
And she's already setting it up, which is maybe why it's almost like we're gonna need a glass of wine for this. Even before you get into the meat of the song, it's almost like, all right, let's light a fire and let's get some glasses of wine and let's have this conversation.
I think that was her whole choice with this album. Is very mood setting. She wanted you to listen, and opening up a song with those words, you're definitely like, oh, okay, I'm true. You're like, okay, let me think. What else is she saying? And then she goes into the rest of the body of the song, and she brings you there. She takes you where she wants you to go.
Absolutely.
I think I want to add to that because I think there are. When I think of songwriting, I think of like making assumptions, drawing from experiences, and making statements. Not all the time asking questions. And I think that like when people suffer, whether it's a divorce, a loss of a loved one, I think that's the time when we ask the most questions. But when we like are in a place of success, we don't always ask questions. So I think that's the power of like going through something like this. I've never been through a divorce, but if you've been through something, it's almost as if you have more answers, you have more questions than answers. And when you use songwriting and questions in songwriting, I feel like that's not what a lot of people do. And just because she opened it up with 2 questions that make her reflect on the relationship and make her partner and her reflect on relationship is very powerful. And I think it challenges me as a songwriter too, because a lot of the times I'm making assumptions or declarations and expressing how I feel. And I'm not digging deeper to ask questions of why I'm feeling a certain type of way. So I like questions. I'm beginning to like questions in songs. I'm not a fan of questions as titles of songs yet,
Really?
But because it just looks funny. Like when I look at a title of a song with a question mark or a title of a song that is a question without the question mark, it just kind of irks my nerves. But I want to challenge myself as a songwriter to write more question-based songs. So that's why I like this.
I think I agree with the title, the statement about the title. I don't like seeing expression in a song title because then I'm just, why is that there? And if you don't answer it, that's going to make me mad because it's like, this was a question and you didn't even find the answer. So there was no resolve at all. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And I think it's when you write in a way to where you open up a question, it's almost like you could have your additional lines, right? Because you could write the question, but then you can also answer the question at the same time. So it gives way to have a way to finish out your thoughts in your verse without having to overthink what you need to say next. And I think that's pretty cool as well when you're trying to, especially when you're a pro writer and you're trying to write fast, having these little tricks to say, okay, I can write this or I can put here. It's almost like the same thing if you say a metaphor in a line, the next line just say what that metaphor really is. So that way you're literally two lines.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? You have one thought, but it now becomes two lines.
And I think that's what she's about to do too, that you said that title. So I think she's getting ready to look. I'm looking at the lyrics now. I'm looking at it and I think that's what she's getting ready to do.
Come on. You can learn all this if you just sign up with a course with Titus Glenn and Penn All right, let's get into, I'm going to back it up so we can actually listen to the whole verse and see what she does afterwards.
How come we both become a version of a person we don't even like? We're in love with the world, but the world just wants to bring us down by putting ideas in our heads that corrupt our hearts somehow. When I was a child, every single thing could blow my mind, soaking it all up for fun, but now I only soak up wine.
It's not funny, but I'm like, that line just made me laugh. Like I legit like envision like her literally having this conversation, like all this stuff is making me want to drink. Like pushing me in that space to where I just want to just indulge and not care about anything else. You know,
as a kid, you were very carefree, and then as an adult, when you're literally taking on everything, you have to just say, where's the medium, And I think for her, and I think she even said in an interview that was her medium for a very long time. That was her go-to.
Wow. But I think going back to what we were talking about earlier as well, like Brian, you're right. Like when she asked those questions, like coming back and kind of really explaining, how they are seeing each other as strangers, is she relates it in the way that it's the world's fault in the sense, like it has pushed our hearts in this space of caring about what other people think and living up to people's expectations and stuff like that. So in a way, she did kind of answer her questions that she was posing on us songwriting.
And I just thought about the melody, that top line that she's using. It's a pattern where the da 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 da. So that chord, leaving it open, that's not resolved. Da 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 da. So that next line melodically itself kind of wraps the answer back around, or kind of brings it to a place where she's asking herself a question, then of wonder, then answering kind of with a description or reflection or a thought. That just came to me, how she's doing it melodically too, to match up this pattern.
See, I think that is so dope that you brought that out, because when I teach on Monday nights, I'm always talking about creating the motif of the top line first, right? Because I feel like when you have that top line, it can lead you into the feeling of what you need to write.
You know what I'm saying? And I think what's happened is like when you're writing in that way and you don't resolve, right? Then your lyrics need to be written in a way that is not resolvable until you know what I'm saying. Then you lean into the next line. Now that motif line, that if it gives the feeling of resolving, then it's going to push you to resolve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, let's continue.
They say to play hard, you work hard, find balance in the sacrifice. Yet I don't know anybody who's truly satisfied. You better believe I'm trying to keep climbing, but the higher we climb feels like we're both none the wiser. So
Oh, man, I can't keep on playing. Like, I'm just saying, it's the lyrics for me, man. Like, for real. Like, for real. Like, where is it? Even that line, they say to play hard, you work hard. Find balance in the sacrifice. Yet I don't know anybody who's truly satisfied.
That's
like,
true.
how real can you be? We continue to juggle things to have everything that we want, but we end up running into people or running into our own resolve that either we're not good enough or this is not good enough, even though we're doing a lot. I think this statement is pretty much saying we're not giving ourselves grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're not giving ourselves, say we're doing a lot, we're doing all these things, and we're doing probably doing more than what other people are doing. You see what I'm saying? But we're still not satisfied because it's innate us to want to do more, have more, do better, stuff like that.
Is it that, or is it to fighting the pressure of wanting to do more?
That's true.
That's what I take from that. I feel like it's a battle with pressure. You know, there's so much on you. Remember, we have to think the spotlight that she's in. We have to think what she's going through, you know, how tumultuous it could be. And then you have to think personally what she's battling that we don't get to see. You know, because everything is in the spotlight. So I feel like that line is definitely a battle with pressure, in my opinion.
It's interesting how like songwriters have the ability to like express what we're saying. Sometimes it's like I've heard some people listen to music like, dang, she or he is saying everything I'm going through right now. I just didn't have the words to say it. And like she has the words, the writers right now have the words to express things that we deal with every day. And it kind of goes back, I think Tyler, she said it a few weeks ago. It's like sometimes we want to not meet our emotions and not be present in what we're going through. But those are the deposits where the powerful songs come from. Is if you could just sit in the suffering or sit in what you're feeling right now, you could draw from that, whether it's a romantic night out of the town, or you just got this call that one of your loved ones has gone away. Like those, and that's where a lot of the hits come from, is because people have experienced this hurt or this joy, and it relates to people, and those people sometimes don't have the words to express those moments. And that reminds me of Stevie Wonder's the Songs in the Key of Life. And so that whole album was it was like kind of these moments in his life, from childbearing, you know, having his daughter, to the world going crazy. These were moments that define people's lives. And so that's our challenge as well as songwriters, is not to say, well, I want to make a hit where everybody's going to relate to it. Well, if you go back a year ago, where were you a year ago? And that's what she's doing here, because she's not 30 right now. She's another age. She wasn't 30 last year.
Right.
Songs were from her 30th year of living a few years ago, where she experienced, and now it comes to today.
Absolutely. Man, you said a whole freaking mouthful. Like, I'm just like, because you
breathe today. That's why he had his jacket on.
Oh Lord.
And that'd be the thing. Like, I think, like, going back to what you said kind of confirmed my class this morning, where we were talking about sitting in all that you feel for the purposes of not waddling in it, but making yourself aware so that you can become stronger in it.
And I think a lot of times as songwriters, we don't want to, we're human and we don't want to feel that pain of what we're actually in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when we start to actually write about the pain and actually put that write with your pen and heart, my sign is not here today. Write with your pen and heart, so that what comes out on paper, people literally feel the song, because everything that you're releasing is now becoming tangible to somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's I like what you're saying. You know, I'm gonna promote myself any chance I get.
Go ahead.
In one of my songs that I wrote, I literally said, "Though I used the pen to write around my stars," and that was like one of my all-time favorite lines. And I just felt like that was like a moment I could say that.
Yeah. Come on now.
But I think that's what it is, though. When you can really change somebody's life and the direction of your life through your pen and your heart, because people are they might use sermons occasionally, they might use pep talks occasionally, but they will literally have music that they listen to change their entire mood. And it's the lyrics that are rapping to their subconscious that are literally can change the direction of how they're moving in life, even if it's just acknowledging how they feel. So all right, 30 more seconds, then we'll move around.
Hope I learn to get over myself. Stop trying to be somebody else, so we can love each other for free. Everybody wants something, you just want me. Why am I obsessing about?
You got any thoughts right there?
No, I just kind of think of the movies I've seen where women are drunk and they're like, why does this happen to me? Why does this happen? And just kind of asking all these questions. I can picture someone drinking wine and kind of getting intoxicated, or kind of like just talking to her girlfriends or talking to herself, talk to her friends, like, guys, why did this happen? I don't get it. But it kind of gives me a movie-esque, if I can coin that term, movie-esque experience of what she's saying, is that, you know, the vulnerability is real and you don't have to tell all your business. But when you get drunk, sometimes that business does spill out.
Right.
And more so the metaphor of being drunk, that we are drunk with success. We're drunk with sacrifice. We're drunk with meeting the pressure, like you said, Ricky. We're drunk with our own demise sometimes, that our view and our vision gets cloudy. So I think the song is poignant, and it just speaks to the human frailty of success and wanting to be something to someone. But
absolutely. Cool. Let's move to the next song. Brian, what you got? Which one is sitting on you?
So while I was driving home, trying to get to this right here, the interlude "All Night Parking" was the one that I liked probably the most, besides "Strangers," the first track. Interlude. And I don't think, as songwriters or listeners, a lot of people love interludes. They're like, wow, I wish it was a whole song. But I think interludes, they're placed in the track list in that position, in that order, for a specific reason. And so I liked what was going on in that song.
Wow. Okay. Let's go for it. This is "All Night Parking." Here we go.
A lot of music.
I know you've got.
You know what? It's the production. It's a production for me. Like, those that don't know anything about production, right? It's the little things that wouldn't be obvious to the regular listener that they did. So it's like the sound of the record playing in the back. That is legit, like, it's not just playing, but it's a I went blank. It's like an effect that they put on the mix of it, so you have that ambiance of what they're trying to create. And when you are songwriting, it's almost like sometimes you have to go in production mode so you can set the tone of making it clear the painting of the picture that you're trying to paint through the song.
I
So,
agree. I like that. I like that way of wording.
did you really?
That's what I stated, sir.
All right, let's get into the lyrics of it. All right, here we go.
I know you've got things to do. I do too. I just want to spend all my time with you. Feels so good. I'm so hard to impress. Don't leave me on this stretch alone. When I'm out at a party, I'm just excited to get home and dream about you.
What you got, Brian? What
Yeah. No, I the longing for her lover, the person that she's interested in. And when I'm out at a party, I'm just excited to get home and dream about you all night long. So to me, with those lyrics, it's like, I am kind of driving the car, but more so with the metaphor of parking, like you giving space to someone in your life and in your brain cells that they're sitting in your mind. And I've been that place where it's like, all I can think about is this person. All I can think about is just kind of spending time with this person. And I think that's what she's speaking to as well. And I want to give it to Adele, kind of, with the question mark.
Okay.
Because, it seems as if, is this the person that she's kind of looking at now after her divorce? Is this the interested one? Is this the rebound? Is this the new guy in her life? And also with the production style, this album, it sounds like, of course, like we said last week, the R&B influences, but also some hip hop, lo-fi beats in the background. That's kind of driving this song too. So I wonder where she is. Since this is the interlude, sometimes interludes turn the story of the album to another trajectory. So is she kind of over it with the old one and opening herself up to the new one? Or is she thinking back to the feelings that she had for her old lover?
That's a good observation. And I want to say it could be something new, in the sense of, I feel like, from my experience, when you go through a breakup, right? I feel like you now celebrate your singleness again, right? But it also leaves space for you to be like, I want something to fill that spot. And then the person that fills that spot, it's like, oh, this is what I'm wanting. Even if it's a fraud situation, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause you show up temporarily as something else, but then pretend to be something else later, or show their true colors later, right? So I think in this space, she could just be like, man, like, you're meeting me in a level that you're getting through to me that nobody else has been able to, because I've been blocking these other things, this other energy.
Yeah.
What, Brian or Ricky?
No,
Ricky, you got a face. What is his face?
No.
Share your thoughts. Go ahead.
Say it.
Yeah, because see, it's kind of growing on me now, listening through it through the week and everything like that. And when I first heard it, I wasn't a big fan of it, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I love Adele. Don't get me wrong. I literally love Adele. But this one, for me, it was very different. And we have that expectation when we hear something from an artist, we're expecting to hear what we want to hear. And I
Mhm.
don't think I had the acceptance to say, oh, I'm ready for her to do something new like this. And so when she did it and I listened to it, I'm like, okay, now it's growing on me. But then I'm just like, when I break it apart, find what I really, yeah, I like it. But I don't know, I'm allowing myself to accept her
Mhm.
differences.
No, real talk though, because when I was listening to this album way in November when it came out, I was like, wait, this is a different sound. It doesn't sound clean, 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 pop, pop, pop.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't sound like a clean Adele Barbara Streisand sound. It sounds to me a little the mixing and the mastering of the album is totally different in my opinion from her previous things. And I'm not just talking about the genres that are on this because pop is twofold, right? Pop is popular music, but also pop does also have a particular sound, but then pop can be a melting pot of different genres. So I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about overall, like production wise, this sounds different from the other sounds. And um it sounds muddled sometimes, and then sometimes they're clear tracks. And I think it was on purpose. So I feel you on that, Ricky. I feel you because when I first saw it, I was like, this isn't what I'm used to from her, but I'm open to it. And so we have to be open to evolve and accept artists as they evolve. And songwriters as we evolve too. Because I know
Absolutely.
some artists, their songs have not evolved and their fan base is okay with it. But then there are other artists that I've seen over time evolve and their subjects as they're singing it. So yeah, I can see what you're saying, Ricky. I agree with you. And it has to grow. It has had to grow on me as well.
Definitely. I mean, it is. It honestly is. I think this is a beautiful album, especially where she goes after this song. Um,
Yeah.
so I love it. I mean, I love the choices she went with. I really do. It just, we were talking about Strangers by Nature, and
Yes, I love that. Mm.
still has not grown on me. But
Really?
By nature still
it,
hasn't grown on you?
it has
That's
not.
like that's like one of my favorite songs on this album. Oh, it is so beautiful.
We'll have to talk about that one off the air.
Yes.
But while
Woo.
you were saying something about, how this interlude is maybe setting up, the rest of the album as they continue. So because the name of the next song is Woman Like Me. If your statement is true, then the all night parking could be that she's having a memory of what it was like when she first got with her husband.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
of you do have moments to where I miss my ex, and you have these moments to where you're going down memory lane.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So in this space, she could just be writing in the present, but she's thinking about the past.
And look, I'm not to spoil it, but the first line in the song Woman Like Me is you're driving me away.
Ah,
Give me a reason to stay.
so
So
maybe it's the wording that's the connection.
so here we
Because the
go
parking
again.
lot parking lot is the car, it's a vehicle, you know what I'm saying? And so
Mhm.
maybe it's a connection between the two in the wording.
And I like with the and with the hypothesis that we talked about, like
Mhm.
is this a new lover or are you thinking about your old love? And I'm with the lyrics that are coming in, the lyrics for A Woman Like Me, it seems like it is heading towards a direction of reminiscing.
Mhm.
Because I think, when we talk about suffering and grief, um, a lot of psychologists and theologians and relationship gurus, they categorize divorce as a form of grief because you've lost a
Mhm.
part of you. And
It's
so in the stages of grief, one of the things is, you can't accept what's happened. And then you're thinking back on some things that happened before.
right,
And so
right, 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 right.
I think with that pattern of the stages of grief, she's somewhere in there. Um,
Listen, but that I hands down agree because I think like going back to looking at this two songs side by side, she's has having this memory in the parking lot or whatever, uh, of how he made her feel, and then now she goes to the next song. It's like, wait, don't you see how good I am for you?
You know what I'm saying? I'm this woman that's actually showing up, and I think she even says this in one of the other songs. Oh, easy. I think it's easy on me when she talks about how I've given myself up to please the both of you, and it's still not. It's not working. Like I'm literally losing myself for the benefit of giving you what you want. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even see, you can't even see that I'm good. I'm a good fit for you because I'm in a way bowing to be submitted, or I'm gonna say submitted because I don't think it's a matter of submission. I think it's a matter of partnering.
Yeah.
To give it to somebody that maybe she's not really getting in return what she's putting out.
And I wonder, like, with that being said, where she is, like with this track, these two tracks, is she in the stage of denial, anger, bargaining, depression, or acceptance? I like looking stuff on YouTube because it just gives me some context of the 5 stages of grief. But she's somewhere, she's either in the bargaining. The last song was struggling. She was struggling to find meaning, and that's bargaining. But with this song, reminiscing back, you know, she may be in a point where she is trying to remember the good times, of course, but I really can't categorize, just because I'm not a psychologist, number one, but I can't categorize where she is right now in her stages of grief with depression. I mean, not depression, but with divorce. So I like it though. I like the track list order, the storytelling.
Absolutely. So we're gonna back it up a little bit. I think this is the song that I was on. It was on repeat on several occasions. This is "Cry Your Heart Out." That's my vibe. That's my vibe right there. The whole production of it, just the Anywho, let's play it.
Cry your heart out, it'll clean your face. When you're in doubt, go at your own pace. Cry your heart out, it'll clean your face. When you're in doubt, go at your own pace.
It was the chorus for me. Like, just even giving, like, going back to, I think we said it earlier, giving yourself grace, and that you're moving at your own pace in life, period. And especially when it comes to going through something like a divorce, you literally have to be okay with your own decision. Because I think, especially if you're religious, people will try to put you in this box of staying, even though it may not be good for you or for them. And I think what she's saying is, make the decision based on what's going to work for you, and no one else should give you the answer to where you are in that relationship. You have to decide for yourself what you're going to do.
Okay.
Let's get into this verse.
Go at your own pace. When I walk in a room, I'm invisible. I feel like a ghost. All my friends keep on telling me that this feeling won't last. I can't get no relief. I'm so tired of myself. I swear I'm dead in the eyes. I have nothing to feel no more. I can't even cry.
Love that verse. Love it. Love it.
What do you love about it?
I love how truth it is. Like, I mean, literally, I think it goes back to what we were saying earlier about how a songwriter can put in a song everything that we're feeling, but we don't have the words to tell it to ourselves. And we hear it and we're like, excuse my French, but like, damn, that's how I feel too, and that's where it
Mhm.
goes, and it's just so true. So true.
Absolutely. This is why, like, I think it was it was the honesty in the words from jump. You know what I'm saying? Walking in the room, feeling like a ghost, like you feel like nobody can relate to anything that you're experiencing. Um, like there is a point where you're like, I'm tired of feeling like this, but I don't know what else to do except to feel this.
Hmm.
So it's quite interesting how she worded it.
Definitely.
Here we go.
When will I begin to feel like me again? I'm hanging by a thread. My skin's paper thin, I can't stop wavering. I've never been more scared.
Listen, my skin's paper thin. I can't stop wavering. What do you paper? How do
No.
what do you think she means? Your skin paper thin.
Well, I think it's like your emotions and your toughness. I think of, how you wear your emotions on your sleeve or how you have to be tough
Mm,
skinned. You're really vulnerable and very
oh,
fragile.
fragile.
You're fragile. You're
Oh
fragile.
man. But here's the thing, the observation. If paper thin, that means people probably see that you're not yourself as
That's
well.
true too.
Whew, that is these lyrics though.
There's that question at the beginning of the
Listen,
pre-chorus.
right. And then there's not I can't stop wavering. That is such a heavy feeling
Right.
because it's like in my transition, I still have moments like, did I make a mistake? Should I have
Mm.
stayed? Should
Hmm.
I, you know what I'm saying? Not just in relationships. I think sometimes there's just in life when you make a
Right.
move to another job,
Yes.
when you're doing things, trying to grow as a person.
Yeah.
Should I do this? Should I not do that? And we were talking about that in class this morning. It's like we don't move because of fear of being wrong.
Yep.
Who says you're going to be wrong when
Yeah.
it might be an experience that you just need to have?
And sometimes that is a sign that you need to move.
Uh,
Sometimes it's a sign that's like, oh, I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. Why are you sitting there days and days afraid? You could have already
right.
made the move. Because sometimes we're afraid that we've made the wrong move, but you won't know that
Mhm.
that was the wrong move if you don't make the move. So it's like, it's a sign. It's a sign sometimes.
Absolutely.
You got to make a move in the decision. That's what adulthood is. And I think that's a part of Adele's evolution with this album and this
Ooh.
song is that as an adult, you have to make these decisions and then you have to be okay post the decision making if it was the right decision or not. And you got to move on.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say absolutely. All right, 30 more seconds. Let's roll.
Lay your heart out, clean your face. When you're in doubt, go at your own pace. Cry your heart out.
All right, so they go back to the second chorus, but I want to read this second verse. When I wake up and I'm afraid of the idea of facing the day, I would rather stay home on my own, drink it all away. And she's connecting the whole album.
She go again drinking, but put the glass down, Adele. But you know what? In the
Working
lyrics,
on that. She said in the interview she's working on that.
look, she's probably saying I drunk and I'll do it again. I'll drink. But in the lyrics, it says that they're saying it sounds like to me they're singing "Cry Your Heart Out, Clean Your Face." But in some of the lyrics online, it says "Cry your heart out, it will clean your face." So whether like it's like cry, then wash your face, or cry because as you're crying, it's going to purify you and make you clean as you're getting these emotions out. So either way, the lyrics right there are monumental.
There's a
Absolutely.
saying in my family, crying makes you pretty, so go ahead and cry.
All
And
right.
that might be that little what am I trying to say? That might be how she was feeling, you know.
Yeah,
Finally, you know, I let it out. When I finished, oh look, I look, you know, I look new. You know? So that might be what it is.
And you know what? That's so interesting you said that too, because like a lot of times men, we feel like we shouldn't cry. But listen, cry. Just go on and cry.
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah, I know this one guy. He actually, he cries, but he cries in the shower. But I think it's a matter of.
Why are you laughing, Ricky?
Because he tried to at me with this subtweet without saying my name because I shared that to him.
Oh, that's you. Oh, Lord.
Look,
but I think that's a nice way to cry. I
didn't say no name. I didn't say no name. I was trying to.
But I'm okay with unveiling that. That's okay with me. Because for me, that is a space where I can go and I write songs in the shower. Don't get me wrong, but I do.
I bet you do.
And I will.
Good place to write a song, though.
Exactly. I will let myself free, and say, okay, if something is truly bothering and it's getting to me, I can go to a space where I can say, hey, I can let myself out with no judgment in this space. There's no one else here but me, and that's fine. And so we have to find our ways to compartmentalize and deal with these things. And for me, that is a way, and I'm okay with that.
I'm with you, brother.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I think water is a sign of purifying anyway, So I get it. I think it makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. This last line, though, I think sums it up for me. I created this storm. It's only fair that I sit in its rain.
Is that third verse? That is third verse. Okay, I see.
No, it's the last line of the
verse 2.
Verse 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I think that goes back to sitting in your emotions or sitting in things that you created or whatever that looks like so that you can heal and be better for it. And I think once you begin to sit in certain things, it just makes you aware. So when it comes up again, you don't overreact, but you allow yourself to pivot in a way to make a different decision or get yourself to think differently versus not being aware. And so now you're repeating a cycle of doing the same thing when you feel that pain.
And I think that's so powerful. In 2008, on March 25th, my grandmother got in her car accident that left her comatose for 3 years. Wow. So every time that day comes by, which was on Friday, around March, I start to have a lot of triggers. And I start to kind of go downhill as far as emotionally because it just brings me back to that time. And so Saturday, it was either Saturday or Friday morning. I woke up, it was Friday evening. I looked in the mirror and I was like, I want to change the narrative that this experience was a way for her to transition to heaven. Then I stopped myself. I said, that could be too, but why are you missing out on sitting in the pain? Because to be honest, it's okay, like you said earlier, to sit in the pain and not waddle there, but you can, kind of come back around and add to the story. And I think that's different from trying to change and spiritualize a moment when that moment hurt you. That experience tore you down. And so rather than trying to make everything okay after 14 years of the pain and the suffering, to kind of sit in and ask myself, what is this? Why am I preventing myself from really dealing with it by myself or going to therapy or even like talking to God about how angry I am because some of it is still there. And so I just want to, what do I want to do by saying that? I want to say that these feelings are real. Sitting in your emotions are real. Coming to a resolution or the lack thereof is okay. Because it feels like sometimes with this song, I don't think there's a resolve here. But I think the resolve comes later on in the album. And as songwriters, we get to just bear, like she said, our skin is thin. Just bear it all. Bear it all. Share your experiences. Share the hurt. Share the suffering and the pain, so that you can move on.
I think you preaching today, sir. I don't
it's the jet.
Like two things I thought about though is like you said something about I had two, but I'm gonna say this one because I think you hit the nail on the head. It's like going back to sitting in the pain and then doing something different. This last Thursday, I was in a situation to where I ran into my ex unexpectedly. And it triggered some emotions. And, the person I was with was like, Titus, we can leave. And I had to take a moment and breathe. Not because it triggered some emotions that I wasn't, what I'm saying? When you walk through just like whether it's grief or losing people, there are moments where things will just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And you could legit retreat. You know what I'm saying? But you have to take a moment when you're ready to really, this is how you know you're ready to change and be free from that. You can legit stay in the same posture. You know what I'm saying? Take a moment to pivot, breathe, and then give yourself an opportunity to say, you know what? I'm going to move differently, and I'm going to change my behavior so that I can move forward. And it doesn't take away necessarily the feeling, this experience of the feeling of it,
Right.
but it puts you in a different standing to say, you know what? I can grow, or I have grown from this, and I can be better for it.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
All good stuff. Did y'all want to review one more song, or is there a song that really stands out that we need to review? Because I feel like we've touched a lot on the album, and because we mentioned Easy on, I can tell you the ones we mentioned. We did Strangers by Nature. I mentioned Easy on Me. We did My Little Love from last week. So those that didn't see the show from last week, go check out that from last week. We just did Cry Your Heart Out. We did I Drink Wine, All Night Parking, and we reviewed or talked through A Woman Like Me.
Could we look at the last song? Because
Okay. Love is a Game. Okay.
Another favorite of mine.
All right, here we go.
All your expectations of my love are impossible.
What a heavy line to open up with.
Right.
All your expectations of my love are impossible. Okay, let's continue.
You know what? That makes me want to say this. It's almost with that line. She's like, listen, this is not all my fault. This is your fault too, buddy. Because clearly you have set expectations for me. I thought I could reach, but me trying to reach it was number one, my mistake. And number two, not acknowledging that was BS from you for you to put that on me.
And continue.
Surely you know that I'm not easy to hold. It's so sad how incapable of learning to grow I am.
Whew.
Yes.
Listen, this right is like, I don't know if I'm getting mixed messages in this first verse. Like, all your expectations of my love are impossible, right? Surely you know that I'm not easy to hold, right? Which is cool. And then she says, it's so sad how incapable of learning to grow I am. So it's almost like maybe this is what she's saying. I don't meet your expectations, and maybe I'm just not good enough for you because I'm not moving, or I'm not adapting or learning in a way that can meet you where you are. Just that last line is so sad how incapable of learning to grow I am.
But I think also, if I could add, is that, as we get older, it's almost as if the older you get, the harder it is to get out of your old habits and to unlearn what you know. So you got to unlearn. Then you got to relearn new habits to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe this speaks to how she's metacognitively, like thinking back and saying to herself, wow, I'm having trouble even changing myself. Like do I have the capacity to change in myself and learn from those mistakes? So
absolutely. All right, let's continue.
My heart speaks in puzzling codes. I've been trying my whole life to solve. God only knows how I've cried. I can't take another defeat. A next time would be the ending of me. Now that I see.
So much content.
So great.
What happened, Adele? What happened? That's what
it makes you
through. What'd you say, Ricky?
That's what it makes you want to say. What happened? What is it that you're not letting us into? You know, like I feel like she could have kept going on this album and we would have listened because with that peered into wanting to know so much about her. We would have definitely been okay with it. But I'm so glad that she ended the album with a song. I really am.
Me too.
You think so?
I do, because I'm tired of hearing the fairy tale ending. I'm tired of it.
Really?
That's not reality. You know what? Fairy tale endings, we get them sometimes and sometimes we don't. And the times that we don't, sometimes I feel like we wonder, you know, is there something wrong with me that I didn't, you know? It's like accepting the ending of whatever the challenge was or whatever you lost and growing from there, like we just said. And I think the title of the song, Love is a Game. This is just the reality of what love is. I lost this time. Next time, I hope I don't lose. If I do, she's saying it's going to be the end of me. But I'm sure she may, you know, you have to kind of wait and learn to love again or be open to love again. For those, I've never been married. I've been in relationships before, but I'm glad too that she ended it this way.
It's interesting, right? Because even the chorus, when she's talking about love is a game for fools to play, and I ain't fooling again. What a cruel thing to self-inflict that pain. That, and then she ends the song when she says, "Now I can love me. I can love again. I can love me now like I loved him. I'm a fool for that. You know. I'm gonna do it. I do it all again like I did it."
There she goes. There she is.
So it's like, basically, it's almost like she reached the point to say, I have no regrets.
And I'll do it again.
For the whole experience.
Yeah. Here she goes. That question has another question. Come on, Adele, with these questions. Why should anything about it be fair? That's the end of verse 2. Why should it be fair? Who said it would be fair?
Well, that's the thing. Like, you don't really know.
It's not.
You don't really know. Like, you can hope for the best. You can take the adventure, and it might work. It might not work. We hope for the best.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we don't really know. Just like we don't know when death is gonna come. You know, you can be married to your partner for, like my brother was married for 12, 13 years, and his wife just died out of nowhere. So it was legit, like, you don't know, and that's again, another form of grief. You know what I'm saying? Like a divorce or losing someone, you just don't know. You can only get in that relationship and do the work until whenever, because we just don't know.
What a great album. What a great kind of textbook to grief, suffering, and loss. And
Absolutely.
What a better time to release it during a pandemic where people were suffering loss left and right.
Absolutely.
To sit in that and to start again somewhere. I think I asked this before, where an artist ends in their album, it kind of, sometimes it gives us a clue where their next album will be. When I was in my car on my way home for today's session, I was thinking, Adele, don't let it be another 5 to 6 years that we get another album from you. And that maybe in a year or two, I'll be happy to have another something from her and to see how much she's grown since this time. We see her life, we see her in the headlines, we see her, but again, you never know what people are going through behind closed doors. And so I just wonder where she's going to go from here. Where is she now?
I love the patience though. I think that's one thing about songwriting. I think that's what I love the most. And I was working with a friend yesterday and, helping him finish his project of songwriting. And I told him, he was promoting his project and he's like, oh, it's going to be out in the summer, but I don't know a date yet. And I'm like, take your time. Don't rush yourself to say, I want it done by this time. It takes time to build a song sometimes. People say, oh, you can write a song in a day. Not necessarily. You can write what you feel in a day, but you can't tell a story how you want to tell it in necessarily a day where it's impactful like this album here. So that's one thing I love about her is I feel like there's patience in her songwriting. There's patience in her storytelling to say, I'm going to allow myself to go through this and then I'll take a summary and I'll put that on my album. And so I have the summary in my songs, but I don't have the process in my songs.
That's
People
powerful.
don't go through this with me. They just need the climax of every situation.
That's what's up. Well, guys, I appreciate you joining us for another lyric talk. We're getting ready to get out of here, but those that have not heard the Adele album, go listen to it, because it's not just about the divorce. It's about just life experiences, losing, winning, and being okay with you in the end of it. So y'all give it up for Ricky and Brian co-hosting. Like they're so dope. Make sure you go get Ricky's new album, Vulnerable, Ricky Jones on all.
I need to listen to it.
Yes, maybe we should do a review on Ricky's album.
Ooh,
Yes.
We gonna have to do that.
please do.
And if you need a jingle, make sure you get with your boy Brian, the jingles guy himself. Go get you a jingle and let him bless your life. And if you need a dope song, you need to learn how to songwrite, or if you want to just be equipped to just write better, get with your boy Titus Glenn. I'm here to be of service to you. So that's our show, guys, and we will see you guys next